What's up, everybody? All right, so I'm going to teach you how to play a classic song by the Beatles, a song called Something. This song came out in 1969. That's the year I graduated. I know I'm getting old, but trust me, when Abbey Road came out, it was a life-changing experience for me in my life. I love the Beatles, the early Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand, all those songs. You know, they appealed to me, but when they did Abbey Road, it was like, okay, these guys are in the game now. So yeah, Abbey Road, the song "Come Together," "Here Comes the Sun," "Because," and this song "Something." But anyway, so let's learn this solo, and it's a classic. And George Harrison played this solo. George Harrison, very underrated guitar player, in my opinion. If you listen to the song he did with Alvin Lee from the band 10 Years After, a song called "The Bluest Blues," the first solo is a slide solo, and it's done by George Harrison. And the first time I heard it, man, I got goosebumps, man. I mean, his slide playing was really incredible. Really, really good. So anyway, let's get into this solo for Something. It's in the key of C. So we're going to start here with a hammer on from the 7th to the 9th fret with your 1st and 3rd finger on the G string. Then you're going to go to the 8th fret of the B string with your 2nd finger. Back to the 9th fret of the G string with your 3rd finger and put a little vibrato on that. Then you're going to do that same hammer on the G string, 7 to 9, 1st and 3rd finger. Then you're going to go up to the 8th fret of the B string with your 2nd finger and do a bend and release 2 times. Then come back down here to this 9th fret of the G string. So let me play that much. Okay, so let's move along. So the next lick starts again with that hammer on. Except he goes up, comes up here to the B string. He does this on the G string, the 7 to 9, the hammer on. Then he comes up here and does a hammer on pull off on the 8th to 10th fret with the 1st and 3rd finger on the B string, like that. Then he slides on the G string from 12 to 14, hits twice on the 13th fret of the B string with his 1st finger. So let's play up to there. Then he does a bend and release on the 13th fret with your 2nd finger on the B string. Do a bend and release, just like that. Let's see. So he does that. Then he comes up here to the 15th fret and does a whole step. And comes down to the 13th fret 1st finger to the 14th fret of the G string. Let me play up to that point. Then he goes. slides again from the 12th fret to the 14th fret on the G string, second finger, to the 13th fret of the B string, first finger, hits that twice. Then he slides from the 7th to the 9th fret on the G string with his second finger, and hits twice on the B string with his first finger on the 8th fret of the B string. Oops. Then he comes up here to the 7th fret of the D string and does a pull off from the 9th down to the 7th fret on the D string with his third and first finger. He hits it first on the 7th fret with his first finger. Then he comes up here to the 7th fret of the G string. Hits twice, he rolls the finger down to the 7th fret of the B string, hits that twice. Let's listen to that. He kind of slides into that on the G string to the 7th fret. And then he comes up here to the 7th fret of the B string. Then he comes up to the 10th fret and does a bend and release. Listen to that part here. Let me see if I can get it right back there. Cue it here. Then he does a bend here on the 10th fret of the B string of this third finger. Hits it twice, bends it up twice. That note is very weak. I don't know. He kind of. I don't think he made a mistake, but this whole section is really, it's. I don't think he made. I'm not saying he made a mistake, but it's just he didn't hit that note probably as well as he wanted to. Listen to it. And so he goes. And you can faintly hear him hit that note again there on the 8th fret of that B string. Let me cue that back again. Then he does this little chromatic thing here on the high E string. Starting on the 10th fret with your third finger. Down to the 9th fret, to the 8th fret, first finger, third finger, second finger. Then after he's done that 3 note, he slides up to this 12th fret with his third finger and chromatically goes down 3 more notes. Just like that. Like that. Here, let me cue it up there, see if I can get it somewhere around there. So there he's going. He's doing a bend on the 7th fret of the G string with his third finger. He's bending it and releasing it twice. Then pulling it off down to the 5th fret with its first finger. He does that twice. Then the third time he does this. He does the bend down to the 5th fret, first finger, then slides up to the 9th fret of the G string, 2nd finger. And then after he's done that slide here to the 9th fret, he hits here on the 8th fret of the B string with his 1st finger. Then he slides from the 10th fret to the 12th fret with your 3rd finger on the high E string. Comes back down to the 10th fret of the E string with your 3rd finger. This is on the E string. Slide from 10 to 12, 3rd finger. Come back down there. So it's... So after he does a hammer on from the 8th to the 10th fret with this 1st and 3rd finger on the high E string. Comes back down to the 8th fret of the high E string with his 1st finger. To the 10th fret of the B string with his 2nd finger. So let me see if I can cue that section there. Come in here somewhere. So after you hit this note here, you go, it's just like the intro. He hits this note again, except I switch my finger to my 1st finger there. You're not playing really fast, so you can do that. Then I come up here, 1st finger starts here on the 10th fret. Do a whole step bend and release on the 12th fret with your 3rd finger on the B string. Back down to the 10th fret of the B string, 1st finger. 11th fret, 2nd finger. 12th fret, 3rd finger. Put your 3rd finger up on the 13th fret of the B string, and that's where that ends. So that goes. So let's do the whole solo. Great solo. You know, it's a simple solo, but sometimes the simple solos are the hardest to play. At least I find that sometimes to be true. But George Harrison, again, I thought he was a really underrated guitar player. I always enjoyed listening to the solos he did. Come together, you know, some tasteful licks, you know. And again, listen to The Bluest Blues by Alvin Lee. Yeah, I know it's up on YouTube. You can find it. And the slide solo is played by George Harrison. It's just beautiful. Well, listen, I'm going to get going, but thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned this solo. It's a pretty iconic solo, I think. I remember, again, listening to Abbey Road when it came out. It was so life-changing. You know, the Beatles had been kind of a top 40 sounding band. I don't know how to describe them. They were kind of a boy band, you know, and all the girls ooh-ahhed over them. You know the story if you've ever watched any stories about the Beatles or documentaries about them. But in 1969, when Abbey Road came out, it was like, wow, it was some good stuff. Well, listen, man, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a blessed evening. If you like what I'm doing here, hit subscribe, share it with people, hit the like thing, make some comments, you know. I enjoy reading the comments. If you like what I'm doing, say, "Hey, man, you're doing good." If you think I suck, say, "Man, you're sucking it up." I'm open for anything. I'm just thankful to God I'm still alive and able to play. You know, I'm going to be 75 my next birthday, and I don't plan on quitting. You know, I know my hands are starting to be not as good as they used to be. I tell people that. I was talking to a guy the other day. I give lessons over the internet, and he lives in Seattle, and we were doing a video lesson, a Zoom lesson, and I told him, I said, you know, back in my younger day, I could play a lot faster, and I could, you know, and it was because, you know, in my 20s and 30s, you know, I didn't have arthritis in my hands. So, you know, it's something I can't fight, you know. Everybody's going to get old and your body starts wearing out. I get it. But, you know, I'm going to fight it. I'm going to play until I can't, you know. I tell my wife this all the time, you know, I'm probably going to die with this guitar around my neck. So I just love to play. I love music, and I love to teach. I don't know how good of a teacher I am, but I think I try to do the best I can. But listen again, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great evening. God bless you, and, you know, practice, practice, practice.